Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. But we're talking about pros versus amateurs, and we see very much what pros are all about when we watch the Olympics or anything like that. When people decide to go pro, it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be on a Wheaties box or anything like that, but it does mean that you have decided to take your life seriously. You've decided to analyze things that aren't quite moving the needle the way you want to, and you're going to get down into the weeds on it. Yeah? Yeah? So get this. When you are a pro, you envision your life with specifics and clarity. Specifics and clarity. We're going to kind of go through some of this. But when you envision, and that's capturing what a vision is about, and it's imagining your future possibility, and to me, it is the absolute act of visualization itself. It's absolutely amazing, and it absolutely changes the way your course runs and where your focus goes. It has to. Otherwise, it's a flash in the pan. It's not a vision. Okay, and I'm going to illustrate this for you. I'm going to show you something here in just a minute, but I want to get through some of this first. And I also think that this is really excellent stuff to kind of take some notes on. If you've been struggling with this whole, I don't have a vision, I can't have a vision for my life. Have you seen my life? Do you see what I do? I take care of, XYZ, an elderly parent, a disabled child, a bunch of little kids. Have you seen my life? And then I've got this over here. I've got that over there. I can't do this. I can't do this. Let's talk about what envisioning means. Let's talk about all these different things. And let's put the hows aside for a minute. Let's put all of this aside for a minute. And let's just concentrate right now on imagining what our life could possibly be. What do you think? Should we go there? Should we go there? Envisioning means to hold fast to a vision, full stop, right there. Hold fast. What does hold fast mean? It means that you're holding on with everything that you have. Not white knuckling it like, oh my gosh, but holding on because it's important. It's not letting go of, it's holding on to. So when we envision this and we hold fast to a vision, we find that our vision is our guiding light, the guiding light to get us to the place that we want to go. It's a principle and a goal that directs the things that we're going to do next. Our energy, our thoughts, our focus, our resources, even our emotions. When we start to think of our emotions as kind of a bank, and we decide, are we going to spend our emotions on this or are we going to spend our emotions on that? Think about it for a minute. If we're focused on all the wrong stuff and going all the wrong ways and asking all the wrong questions because we're emoting for the problem instead of the solution, what happens? We lose our vision, And I'll tell you what, have you ever heard this one before? Where there is no vision, the people perish. That's in Proverbs. Now, I took a deep dive into that Hebrew word, which is para. And again, we're not a religious program, folks, and I'm not sitting here giving you, Bible lessons at all. But I've always had this Bible verse in my head. This is one of the ones that, I had on my wall when my kids were growing up. Without a vision, the people perish. So I looked at this word. What does this mean? It means unconstrained and directionless. That's the Hebrew word for perish, unrestrained and directionless. And they used blown in all directions, like as if your hair has been taken out of its braid. So think about it this way. Have you ever, you've only done this once, you won't do it again. If you've ever had your hair down and gotten into a convertible and driven with your hair going every which way, you know what I'm talking about, right? And then you have to comb that business out. What a mess, because your hair is directionless and it's being blown every which way and it's unconstrained. And you learn your lesson and you don't do that again, because what a painful thing to comb that business out. Well, that's the whole thing about what happens when you don't lead a life with vision. There's nothing there to light up what your life is about. Goals are just meaningless words on paper. Nothing has substance to it. Nothing has anything in it that stirs up your hot desire. And if it doesn't stir up your hot desire, what's the whole point then? What's the whole point? Your vision that you envision is simply holding a bigger picture for your life. That's it. It's holding a bigger picture for your life. It's wanting more than you currently have. And I'm not talking about necessarily what's in your bank account or having a bigger house or anything, but more vibrancy, more focus, more time, more creativeness in your life, more of the life, the structured life that you want to live, not just living by default. There's a humongous difference, because we have to look at it. We have to define what it is. We have to refine what it is. And sometimes we even have to go so far as to redefine what it is that we want in our lives, period. It's true. I mean, I've done this. I don't know how many times. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine that we've known each other for years in business and what have you. And we had a little meetup today, and we were talking about that. And both of us said, how many times do I have to reinvent myself? But yes, that's a whole part of it. You know what reinventing yourself means? That you're not stubbornly holding on to everything. You are instead looking at all the possibilities that your life could possibly hold. When you reinvent yourself, you're not just going to hold on and hold on and hold on. You're going to instead say, I hold everything with a loose hand, and I look for the possibilities. And that's what I put my focus on, because I am solution oriented. I am not oriented to the problem, because girlfriend, that's what I have. I've got grit, not quit. That's me. That's who I am. That's how I roll. And you know what? It has saved my bacon more times than I can tell you. I promise you, it's just saved everything. But anybody at any time can do this. It's just merely a decision. You know what? I need to define it. I need to possibly refine it and redefine what I want my life to look like. That's what holding a vision means for your life. Pros know this. Pros know this, and pros do this all the time. Every single Olympic athlete out there, and anybody who's accomplished any kind of big vision for themselves, from Diana Nyad to Michael Phelps, they saw themselves doing the thing that caused them to win, that caused them to get to the shore, that caused them to, like Tiger Woods, hit that ball into get a hole in one. It didn't just randomly happen. It was visualized first. There was some emotion behind it. There was all kinds of stuff behind it, and that vision is everything. So companies that are mission-oriented do this all the time. And 20 years ago, when I started Saving Dinner, my mission was to bring families back to the dinner table, one healthy meal at a time, right? Well, I still hold that vision, and I keep it right over here. It's tucked over here. We still offer our menus. We still have all the food and the recipes and all of that. I'm just saying, on the cusp of my 60th birthday, suddenly I just said, I'm more than just getting dinner on the table. There's more than that. And I know if I'm going through all of this, I know there's women out there who are going through it too. And this is why the show has been going, and why we do all the things that we do, and why we say that our vision per se is to bring, is redefined, and to bring women back to their vibrancy, heart, mind, body, and soul. And to redefine if they need to, and to stop being invisible and stop being less than, and to start seeing that this is the best chapter of our lives. We're fully bloomed and walking into all the loveliness and goodness that this life has to offer. If only we'd focus on that, if only we'd focus on that. How is it that we have people so often, what they'll say is, I just don't have any vision for my life. Well, how often are you sitting there and taking an account, an analysis of your life to see what it is? Because without a vision, you will perish, directionless, unrestrained, and that's just no way to live. That is no way to live. Yes, Lucy, invisible and less than are gone. Good for you. Lucy said, living by default just hit me with a huge plank. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. Total cosmic 2x4, right? We all do it in some form or another. Bruce Lipton calls it living an unconscious life. And 95% of us do that. And I say to you that while you're cleaning a toilet, you can be as unconscious as you want to. But when you are present and having connection and having relationships and having a life, it's time to become present. It's time to put down the phone. It's time to connect. It's time to redefine the juiciness of what you want in your life and in your relationships. This is why we have our Take Back Your Life journal. And I shared in here, is this mine or is this the sample one? No, this is not mine. But I was going to read you my goal. But one of my goals in there is that I want my connections and my family and my friends to all feel the love from me. And so it is redirected as I write that goal out every day in the I am structure. Do you know how much that has changed and shifted everything? How my relationships with my children have changed, how my relationship with Mark has changed? It just changed everything because I'm conscious in it. It's not like my relationships are scrubbing a toilet. Do you hear me on this? This is everything. This is everything. And it makes all the difference in the world, and it completely changes your focus. So, do you have a vision for your life? Do you? I'm going to share with you my vision board from 2017 or 2018. I can't believe I didn't write the date on it, but I've carried this with me, and I've shown this before, and I'm going to illustrate the point of what this is about. In 2018, I turned 60. And in 2018, that's when I started to say, there's more to my life than cooking another damn chicken breast on television or doing it for a live audience anymore. How many chicken breasts can a woman possibly cook? And it wasn't to put down all this work that I had done for 20 years or 18 at that point. It was in order to say that there's more to it. Food is foundational. It fuels our lives, for heaven's sakes. We know that. It is the very fuel that puts this bodysuit into orbit and gets us out and, doing the things that we need to do. We got to fuel it correctly. But I also knew I wanted more in my life. I wanted more of a connection. I wanted deeper mission in life. And I wanted to be with women who were looking for the same thing that I was. And here we are all these years later. And one of the things that I wanted to do, and I started doing back then, and I had small little groups of tiny groups of women who said, yeah, let's get together. Let's learn together. Let's workshop. Excuse me. And I did Take Back Your Life workshops and what have you. And I'm telling you, excuse me, it all changed everything. It changed the way I focused. It changed the direction that I wanted to go. That's what happens when you start having a bigger vision for your life. And then I said, let's throw something else into the loop here. Not only do I want to do this, but I want to do it in my home. I want to do it on a big deck with a bunch of women seeing the lake that I live on. I want a boat. I want to take women on the boat and give them a big charcuterie board and drink wine. Well, we'd be doing that coming up September 11th if it wasn't for this damn pandemic. I've got a potty mouth today. I can't help myself. If it wasn't for this, we would be doing this. If it wasn't for this, I would be finally meeting my team that I have not met, in person. But I will show you, this is what I had on my vision board, right? Say hello to new possibilities. Do you see that? And do you see right here, this? This was a picture that I found in a magazine of a dock and a lake and the view from the house. You see that? Here I am. Here I am. Do you know what happened? Do you know what the shift was? So that became the focus instead of, oh, but I've got this, and oh, I can't do this, and oh, I can't do that. I'm going to give you, let me tell you exactly what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you 10 things. I brain dumped all this stuff out. So you're going to have to put on your seatbelt and let's go for a ride, because I am so passionate about this, and I know for a fact, and I believe with all of my heart that God put this on my heart, put it in my heart, and put me in this place so I could say to you, I've got the receipts. I've got the proof. Because I don't want you to see yourself as less than anymore. I don't want you to see yourself as someone who can't. You are someone who can. Who can? Are you ready? I'm going to take you there. First things first. First things first. Here's how you define it. You define your hot desire. We have talked about hot desire, but that hot desire is that burning in your chest that says, I want this, and nothing's going to stand in my way. Nothing. Yes, there's going to be a road bump. Yes, there's probably going to be something. But you know what? If I'm going to live my life excellently, not perfectly, because again, perfect is not this side of glory, then I can do this. I can do this. I can step into this. You bet I can step into this. You start with the why matrix. Why do I want this? What do I want to, why do I want to do this? I did that. I why matrix this house. I why matrix the boat and the dock and all of it. Why? Because my greater mission is that I'm going to bring women into the possibilities of what their lives can be. That is vibrancy. And if I want to do this, if I want to serve in that kind of way, do you not think that God is going to say to you, okay, let's go. Let's do this. Hello. That's what happened. And all of a sudden, the people came. It was like, you build it and they'll come. It was quite kind of like that. But my heart of hearts, I knew this is what I needed to do. And everything in my life had set me up for this moment. And here it is. Here it is. This board way before this house. You tell me. Number 2, you got to think about what you hotly desire. You don't think about what you don't want. Because if you're thinking about what you don't want, you're putting your energy in that bank account. Where do you want your energy to go? Where you focus and what you focus on expands, right? What you dwell upon becomes your destiny. More Robin Sharma there. We know this. I know this with all of my heart. This is exactly right. When I started focusing on what I could do and what my possibilities were, I had a pile of problems. Do you know, I had a business that collapsed. It collapsed and left me with 6 figures of debt that I'm still paying off, by the way. I don't talk about it much. It's not a fun thing. It was a great idea. And I loved it and everything. And I had investors who said that's a fabulous idea. And I could have walked away from it and said, I'm folding up things, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pay that back. But you know what? It's okay. Because you know what it taught me? It taught me that I need to focus on the thing that's going to move me away from that thing, that mess. What am I going to do? Fold up shop and go be a Walmart greeter? Nothing wrong with Walmart greeters, by the way. But if I have this bigger vision for my life and how can I be of service? What can I do? Then I have got to focus on that. Because if I focused on the 6 figures of debt, if I focused on all the stuff that was going wrong, when I laid in bed in a cold sweat wondering what the heck is going to happen to me, this is 2018. That's when I started to say, I'm going down the wrong path. I have got to focus on what it is that I can do, or I'm going to completely lose it. You know, I'm going to completely lose it. I was this close, but I just kept going back. And you know what? This is one of the reasons why, and I don't even know where they are. Here they are. This is why we have quote decks, by the way, because that Robin Sharma quote saved my bacon. I focused on that. I repeated that. It became my mantra. It was on my wall. Everything. Secondarily, it wasn't a secondary thing. It was a primary thing. I changed my focus. I changed my environment. I changed what I dwelt on. Had to. It was survival time. Number 3, ask, and here are some of the things that I did. I started asking the right questions of myself. I asked, what if I did this? What if I did start doing other things? What if I decided that it's okay to let go of the chicken breast in the pan and start moving a little bit toward something that I'm passionate about anyway? Making sure that the women who are in my life are getting just as lit up as I am, and that they're on the path to vibrancy. They're properly fueling their life. They're seeing that this is the whole package, not just one thing. What if I did that? And I also said, can you imagine what this would look like? I talked to Mark about it. Can you imagine? And this is what it would be. And this is what we'll do with the supplements. And it just kept getting better, because then I found a formulator who would let me co-formulate with him. And it kept getting better. These supplements were made right here in the United States, and it kept getting better, you know? And we were able to do small batches. It kept getting better. And that was my expectation. It would keep getting better. And it has. It's just kept getting better. But you know what? I gave myself permission to dream. Have you given yourself permission to dream? Have you? I'm telling you, this is a pro tip right here. Give yourself permission to dream. It's unbelievable how wonderful life can start turning out if you just give yourself permission to start dreaming. Number 4 is I invested in myself. I didn't have a nickel to rub together. I was pretty freaked out with everything that was going on. And if you were around in 2019 or 2020, and you remember the first part of that when the pandemic was shutting everything down and we couldn't get our supplements and everything was crazy town. Do you remember all of that? I still invested in myself. I still have, right now, I have a course that's sitting up that I'm doing right now. I do. I've got 2 courses right now that I'm doing, invested in myself. And it wasn't cheap. You know, one cost me $400. The other one cost me over $1,000. I'm investing in myself at all times. There are constantly books coming to my house. I'm investing in myself. Do you know why? When you invest in yourself, you get an ROI. You know, you don't when you just pay, you know, people who say, oh, that's so expensive. And then they're going to Starbucks and buying a big mug of sugary coffee crap for $8. Don't tell me about expensive. It's an investment. And I expect when we put things out, like, you know, you're investing in the Hot Melt 30, and you know what I say to you? Good for you. Do you know why? You're investing in yourself. You can free program it all you want with the Hot Melt Sprint, and I hope you do. But when we have programs that go a step beyond, I do expect you to invest in yourself, because I know that rate of return on your investment, that's going to be something. When you invest, there is a transaction that happens, and you're saying, I believe in myself. That's why we do this. That's an exchange, and the pros know this. Right on, Marguerite. She says, I'm worth the investment. You better believe you are, honey. You better believe you are. And you can see it. She's got the receipts. Go check her out in the Hot Melt Sprint group. She's all over it. You know, that cute dress, all the things. Absolutely, 100%. It changes everything. It changes your perspective in a big way. Number 5, I want you to emote like this, like how I'm going crazy right now. I want you to do this. I'm like a teen, you know. I'm going to go see what are those teen bands, the boy bands, you know. You know how they do? And they posters all over their room. They visualize them. They're so cute. They kiss their pillows, but they're just all about it. In my day, it was Bobby Sherman, but you know, I just aged myself, of course, but I get very open about how old I am. Same idea, like an preteen, all about a boy band, or, you know, Bobby Sherman or Davy Jones or whoever. That's how I want you to get, because when we get wrapped up with that, you know, it just triggers all kinds of chemical reactions in our brains, and we start to really focus in on all of that. Focus in. Number 6, this is about you, not them. Stop. I want you to stop dancing like Quick Draw McGraw. Remember him in the cartoons? He'd walk into the saloon and they'd make dance, and they'd throw down the guns, and Quick Draw McGraw would be hopping around. You don't dance for anybody, right? I don't care how threatening they are or whatever. You don't dance for anyone. You're not performing. This is not a stage where you're performing for everyone to make them happy. This is your life, your one shot. Remember the Hamilton thing? This is your one shot. You've got one life to live. What do you want it to look like? A performance for other people who you care more about than your own life? I'm asking you questions because I want you to dig in there. And if it makes you cry and makes you go, oh my gosh, good, good. Because now you're dealing with that people-pleasing aspect of all that garbage. And I'll tell you what, it took me until I was nearly 60 to finally get rid of this people-pleasing garbage. On my side of the road, I can only clean that much up. And if I make a mistake and I need to go and ask somebody for a forgiveness or do whatever it is that I do, or, you know, what I do the best that I can with what I've got. And if it doesn't please them or doesn't please these folks over here, or somebody doesn't like my video because I'm not cooking right now, I can only deal with my side of the road. That's it. That's it. That's just how it all works. It's about you. It's not about them. You know, are you living your best life? Are you living a life that's hot desire and filled with vision? Keep asking yourself that question. And then number 7 is just reverse engineer it. You know, what would this look like? And I have my, when I had Take Back Your Life program, you know, the year-long program, I had one of the exercises I had was envision what it would look like to walk in a year later in the body that you want to be living in. What are you wearing? Who's there? Who sees you? How does it feel to walk in feeling confident? Because, you know, you've done all these things and what have you. But when we do this, we can start to feel some of the emotions. We can start to walk through it all. We can start to capture all of that's the hot desire. And that hot desire is definitely connected to our emotions, and that creates the vision. Number 8, be a dedicated bridge builder. You know the bridge. We are here. We want to go there. There's a gap. The bridge has to be built. You are the bridge builder. You've got the tools. You determine the quality of the materials. You determine the design. It has to be that way because this is your life. It's not mine to live. This is why we talk about the carousel of crazy. You know, one size never fits all. It has to be customized. It has to be your way. You know, and if you find things along the way that don't work, then, you know, don't spend so much emotional capital that it has to work. You know, be flexible. Allow for the change. Allow for the shift. Because remember, I will tell you this, and you can write this down. You know, it's not the distance, it's the dedication that counts, right? We all have gaps. How big is your gap? I don't know. You know, this is your life, not mine. But it's not about your distance. It's about the dedication that you have to building that bridge. Number 9, take inspired action. Now, we're going to unpack what inspired action is on Wednesday. That's tomorrow for Wise Women's Wednesday, so make sure you show up. And number 10, your specifics aren't the details. There's a big difference. I'm going to unpack that one on Thursday because there's a lot of things that might make you say, wait, they're the same thing? Not exactly. And I want to talk about that because I think it will help for you to get the direction. Okay. Now just remember this. Pros get vision, and they start to create clarity around the vision. And they start to support their lives with a vision and with a thing that they can go toward. Hot desire is very much involved. And, if we're going to look at this and say, without vision, the people perish, remember, that's directionless, unconstrained, and purposelessness. So what I want you to do now is, and I've got homework for you, I want you to take the time to start visualizing what your life could look like if only. And can you imagine? Can you just see the possibilities? Start doing that and play with it and allow your energy to be redirected into that, because that, my friend, is gold, and it will take you to the next place. I love this stuff. Yum, yum, yum. I hope that helped you. The last one was specifics aren't details, Teresa. And I will unpack that one on Thursday. Okay? Specifics aren't details. And you're probably going, what are you talking about? And that's why I'm going to tune in on Thursday and find out. I so appreciate the fact that you show up. And if you decide to share this video, do so, and do so publicly so we can see it and say thank you. Number 9 is take inspired action, Lisa. Take inspired action. I will unpack that one tomorrow for wise women, because that's what wise women do. They take inspired action, not just any action, inspired. You ready to be inspired? Let's do it tomorrow. Peace be with you. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me. I hope I see you later on Facebook. Bye. Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.